we're in Parshat Mishpatim this week. And there's something strange, besides the fact that it starts off talking about a Hebrew maidservant. But it says after he's worked, and he should go free after 6 years, in the 7th year, he goes, and the language of the verses says, I love my master and my wife and my kids, because the law is if he got married, if the master gave him another slave to have children with, and he leaves, he has to leave the wife and the children. And I would understand for sure if he would say, I love my wife and kids, I don't want to leave. But the language of the verse says, I love my master, I love my wife and kids. Wife and kids seem to be secondary. Very strange. What kind of guy are we talking about here? I love my master. It's my master. So, according to the Shalom Rebbe, the netivos shalom, fantastic explanation that there's 3 different types of servants. There's the Eved Ivri, the Hebrew servant. And it's not talking about a servant or a slave. It's talking about someone who serves God. That the servant of God, who's complete, so he only wants to do things for its own sake. He only wants to do the commandments just because he has the great dignity and honor of serving the Most High. The highest order. That even if he was going to give him all the pleasures just by the fact that he's doing the right thing in the moment, the way I look at it is always a rose by any other name is a rose. Meaning just to be in the historical moment doing the highest service. That's where he gets his high from. That's where he gets his juice. And then, of course, there's the other type of servant who's called the Evet Kanani, the Canaanite slave. This person is in the dark side of the force he worships. Right? He's totally buried and sunken in his desires, totally. Anything the evil inclination wants of him, jumps up, does it right away. No sweat. So that's the Canaanite slave. And then there's the third type. The chetzi, half-half. Half owned, half free. And the Mishnah talks about this type of guy. What do you do with this guy? How is he going to get married and have children? He can't marry a free person because he's half slave. Can't marry a slave person because he's half free. Got to do something. So they do something very unique. So everybody really has to see himself as if he's half slave, half free. Yes, we have blood running through our veins, in our hearts, the deepest places. And half of that is pure blood. And half of it, well, we get lost sometimes. We work for the other side. It's called the dam tameh, the defiled blood. Half-breed. So, what do we do? Who's the person who's the slave like that? Half-half. So, the Talmud does this about a person who's actually half slave, half free. Is that they force the master who owns half the slave. They force him to set him free, but they make a shtar, a document, for half the money. Chetzi damav. This is the language in Hebrew. Chetzi damav is half of the money, but the word damav, you have to look at a little closely. It's dam, half the blood. Meaning the half of the blood in your heart, you have to write out to the evil inclination a promissory note that you are going to purify that part of your blood. And he brings the best way to do it. Yeah, you could try to subdue your evil inclination and squiggle and wiggle. But really, if you could develop within yourself a great yearning, an unbelievable love, Shabbos Kodesh, the holy Shabbos is the way to do it, to develop within yourself such a great love. And through that great love and that great yearning, and that you, God, please make it that I only want to desire you completely. And on Shabbos, you could do this. You therefore end up purifying the whole blood. And then you become the unbelievable servant of God. And you reach your potential and help the world and yourself.